Hey Libras, welcome to Vivid Vibration. My name is Christina. I hope that y'all are doing well. Please give me a like, share, and subscribe if this video resonates with you. I'm just getting started, and all of your support is very appreciated and super helpful. So, okay, we have the Nectar, the Creator, the Storm, Gnosis, the Animal, the Seer, and the Shapeshifter. Leaves. Goodness gracious. Okay, so I guess I want to start with the idea of Gnosis because I feel like Gnosis is just, I mean, it's the idea of a deep knowing and understanding, right? But it's also the idea of having this knowing and understanding because you've gone through the cycle so many times that it's just like, yeah, I got it, you know? Like you don't have to spell it out for me, like I get it. Um, and I feel like part of that is like having an understanding of the confusion that you have been coming out of, and a lot of the confusion that you've been experiencing from all of these, like tumultuous interactions, I guess we'll say. Because I feel like leads, there has been this real idea of just getting it from every side, like it's coming from every angle and just really having to kind of like understand what that pattern is and what that cycle is that keeps playing out. And I feel like there's a part of you that really is, I want to say, just like acknowledging your role in it all and accepting not responsibility for like all of the things, because I again, that's not realistic. No one person is responsible for all things, right? But everyone who's involved in any situation has a part to play in that situation. Always. It's impossible for any one person to come out like one rotten apple spoils the whole thing, right? And everybody's covered in rot. Everyone's got rot. I feel like there's just this idea of like you really having to sit with and acknowledge your part in the rot. Whether you brought the rot or you sat in the rot, you had rot. And it's just this idea of really understanding that and allowing for there to be recognition of it, allowing for there to be like a sadness that just kind of like moves through you and cleanses out the bad, because I don't feel like it's a permanent state of being. I think it's just a, a step along the way in the process, right? Because then you have the shapeshifter. And the shapeshifter is the idea of, like showing up in one way and then coming out in another way, right? Like it's just, and I feel like there's an idea of stepping into, like, I just want to say a more conscious version of yourself. The part of you that says, okay, like I am an active participant in everything that happens in my life. So if I don't want to have this type of behavior around me, then I need to not engage in that type of behavior, right? Like you can say to somebody, I'm going to hold you accountable, and then, and then refuse to be held accountable yourself. And that's never going to fly, not for people who are willing to be held accountable, right? And so there's this idea here of like, I want to say showing up and being willing to be held accountable. I don't know that this is showing up in a new environment, it's a new situation, if it's like one thing fell apart, so you're going to try and save another thing because all of the things really like illuminated you to this, like this understanding of why so much was going on all around you everywhere, like if it's like my home life was really affecting my work life and that fell to shit. So now I really need to take all of that energy and all of these lessons and apply it to at least one area of my life, right? And I feel like that's kind of like where you're at and what you're trying to do. Um, because I think that there's something, I mean, the creator is the idea of like something from nothing. It's got a very magician vibe to it. The nectar is this idea of like curiosity of and reaching for something that gives life to you. And I feel like there's something Libras that you guys have been, I want to say like passionate about or working on, like a project that you are refocusing your attention to, like recreating not only yourself, but like the world around you, right? It's kind of that idea of like, be the change you wish to see in the world. And you could say to everybody, well, you should recycle, and then you throw your plastic away, right? I mean, it's kind of that mentality, but then everybody's like, calls you on your shit. And so you're like, okay, bet. Like I hear that, right? Like, okay, I hear that. I'm gonna step into that. Instead of getting angry, instead of saying that's your fault, not mine, I'm gonna hear it, I'm gonna accept it, I'm gonna receive it, and I'm gonna change it. And I feel like that's what this is. This is that changing point for you that really allows you to, I want to say, just like more sincerely go towards what it is that you are curious about, what it is that gives you life, because I feel like all of your energy has just been like soaked up in the confusion for a minute now, Leaves. So I'm happy to see that you're transitioning out of that. Okay, what else can we get for my Leaves? The Ace of Cups, the Six of Cups, the Empress, the Six of Swords, and the Six of Pentacles. Well, Leaves, I feel like the idea here is that like it's time. It's time to. I mean, the Six of Swords. Some of my leaves may be moving. Because this is a card that indicates that it's time to move. So if you have been going through a breakup or something, like maybe you guys are finally like setting out on your own way. And I feel like just kind of taking the good that you have and going towards this new beginning. The Ace of Cups is the idea of a new relationship. So it could be that you all are getting into a new relationship, or it could just be that you are taking your good and investing it in this new project or this new endeavor that you're working on. Take it how it resonates, but either way, I feel like, like time's up. It's you're good to go. And when you go, you're going as a newer, better, different version of yourself. I feel like everything that has been happening, if for no other reason, has served as a wonderful mirror for how it is that you can, as an individual, grow and develop and become stronger and become better, right? Because can nobody else do it for you? Like you got to do that for yourself. But I feel like you're doing that, Libras, and I'm so happy. Okay, hold on, sorry, I dropped a card. Okay, I'm sitting today because I feel like it. Okay. We have the Queen of Wands, the Empress, and the Lovers, and the Six of Cups. Again, the Six of Cups in this deck is more of the idea of like nostalgia and reminiscing, and I feel like there's just, like I feel like there's this idea of like there's so much love that I have to give. I feel like or somebody that you're drawn to, who I feel like maybe they were somebody who you had dealt with in your past. I don't know. We're gonna go with somebody new, but I mean, take it how it resonates because it could play out differently for all my leads. But it is this idea. It could be just somebody who you were friends with, and you were like, man, I remember, like how much we got along or how great that was. But the Empress is this idea of like there's a whole lot there to harvest. There's a whole lot of good, and I feel like there's an idea of like looking over and understanding the good. Could just be that you're looking over and understanding the good that came from you too, because right, part of I don't know, like integrating the bad is understanding the good too, right? Because you can't just sit around and like beat yourself up all the time. Like that's ridiculous. Yes, acknowledge your issues and then move on from it, and take your good and go towards, like developing all of the good that you do have and all of the positive qualities that you have so that you can, I want to say, engage in a relationship. There's just been a lot of love in the air, but we are in Pisces and Venus, right? So that's kind of like a thing. I think everybody's just living in this world of like, or Venus and Pisces, everybody's just living in this world of like just like loving love, right? Okay, but I feel like it's just in time. Like you just went through a whole lot of yuck just in time to really, I want to say, like, get your shit together for what it is that you really wanted in the first place. The Sun. I mean, this card is is happiness and joy and fulfillment and abundance. And I really do think, leads that you guys have a whole lot here. And I feel like that was something in one of your last reads too. It was this idea of like being in a lack mentality in a world of abundance, right? And it's like, no, you have so much to be thankful for, leads. You have so much to be happy about, and and I feel like you have so much to share. And why why hold on to that, to bitterness? Why hold on to anger? Why hold on to bad habits when you have so much ahead of you, right? Like it wouldn't make sense, which I don't think you're doing. I mean, obviously, duh. But anyways, okay. The seed and the empty room. Yeah, because again, I feel like it's just this idea of like when you really had to sit with yourself and, like, and sort through the confusion and come to terms with your role in it all. You were able to really see, I want to say, like, all of this, all of the good, all of the bad, all of the things, and I think uncover what it is that what you had intended to plant in the first place. Like, you planted something and it got covered up with a lot of weeds. The weeds are bad decisions. And I feel like you pulled the weeds and you discovered, like, what had been planted in you in the first place. And that's the direction that you're going. And I think that there's a lot of beauty and a lot of opportunity to really relish in the abundance, should you so choose, which I love. Okay, leads. Well, I hope this resonates with y'all. If you're interested in booking a personal read, click the link in the description box below. If this is where we part ways, please give me a like, share, and subscribe. And I hope that I will see y'all again soon. Bye.